Good afternoon, and welcome to the Fairfield Board of Police Commissioners. Today, Wednesday, February 11th at 4:34 in the afternoon. May we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you like to lead us?
Sure. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Approval of the draft minutes of the regular meeting on January 14th, 2026. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You want to talk about the presentation, or do you want me to? Okay. Our awards, presentation of a life-saving award to Officer Jay Azari for life-saving actions during a reported suicide attempt that occurred on November 28th, 2025. Chief?
Great. Thank you, Commissioner.
You're welcome.
Sure. You want to stand right there and we'll get going. So, Commissioners, this is a life-saving award recognition to Officer Jordan Irizarry. In recognition of his swift, courageous, and life-preserving actions during an emergency medical call for service that occurred on November 28, 2025. Officer Irizarry arrived on the scene following a report of a 20-year-old resident found hanging by his brother, who had initiated CPR. Through decisive intervention, Officer Irizarry determined the male was pulseless, not breathing, and continued CPR. Prior to AMR arrival, the male regained the pulse and spontaneous breathing as a result of Officer Irizarry's medical intervention. Officer Irizarry's prompt response, decisive actions, and effective life-saving measures played a critical role in saving the male's life and exemplify the highest ideals of law enforcement. To this day, the person is living and doing well, and Jordan's actions definitely contributed to that, so we're very proud of it.
Once you get what was the first slide, what was it?
Of course, yeah, of course. Thank you. What do we got coming up real quick?
Thank you. Chief, I just want to say something about Jordan. On Saturday, we had a alarm go off in my house. The front door swung wide open, and Jordan and his partner came out, assessed the situation, made sure the home was safe, and kept my wife very, very calm. So, tremendous work by Jordan and his partner. Perfect.
Great job, guys.
Well done.
Well done.
Jacqueline, why don't you go up here?
Oh. Psychologically impacted. Psychologically impacted.
Yeah, you do.
Okay. Through my pen. All right.
Okay, moving along. We good? That's okay.
I just threw my pen about 10 feet.
Okay. Before we go any further, we're going to have a very long agenda. So anyone that wants to get up to speak from the public, I'm going to limit 2 minutes. Is that okay with this Commissioner? Okay,
Sure.
Thank you. Our next is number 4, presentation by Andrea Karen and the group Friends of Fairfield Animal Shelter. Will you please get up and state your name and your address, please? thank you.
I have some, it's just information like backup data for you, so you know where I got the information.
Thank you.
This is actually, I think there's a misunderstanding, because for me to be here today, it's strictly an administrative thing. Officer Waya suggested that I need to come before the commission to just address the minutes and the minutes from the March meeting when we came before. So I just wanted to check on something and recognizing that I may not be aware of the full situation. I had just looked at the minutes probably in November. It didn't occur to me to look at minutes or, anything like that. But two things. The minutes, really, I failed to recognize that we essentially took a pause on it because we were told that a friend group was not wanted. So we took a pause on it, given that Officer Miller said that they were going to up their social media, and they also were going to spay and neuter all the animals from that day forward, from the day I met with him in February last year. Waited about a year, and I looked at records, and from information. So anyway, I wanted that to be characterized in the last minute, if that's possible, because it was characterized that we were rejected because of insurance, and insurance is really the red herring when I was told to my face, he just doesn't want anybody. So that's one issue I wanted to ask about. And then the other issue is that the report that I presented at that meeting as well, I was told by Chief Calamaris it would be attached to the minutes. And I did look at, again, the minutes online, and there's no recognition that there is a report, let alone a report being attached. So again, I don't know if there's a break between me understanding procedurally, maybe the minutes are somewhere else, or what happened with that. So those were two requests I had to address. And I don't know if there can be an answer right now or not, but that was what drew me here today.
My understanding is you're doing a presentation, so.
Okay. No, on the advice of Officer Wyatt, I was supposed to come and do this, so this is my presentation. The other thing, though, I did want to talk about, though, is that pledges have not been honored, animals have not been spayed or neutered. I have a lot of information in the records there that best practices are, especially in this day and age, that animals are spayed and neutered. That was the thing that we had brought before the commission, was that animals need to be spayed and neutered. It's just best practices. There is a couple of different publications from experts in the field that is the best practice. Towns around us do it. Bridgeport does it. Animals are spayed and neutered before they're released in the community. They're already disadvantaged by virtue of being in the system in the first place. To send them out again unspayed and neutered is a problem. So that's another thing, we do want to talk about, and we do want to come back for a presentation about, because we're the animal loving community. I have hundreds of people who have contacted me about this. It's really important. I understand we don't have a lot of animals in Fairfield, so there's not walking that needs to be done. I understand we have maybe one or two animals right now in the shelter, dogs. It's hard to get information. The other thing is about spay and neuter. I was able to get some of the information, and then I was stopped in a FOIA request trying to pull it up to the end of the year. I was told it's because I had asked for information that actually required assembling data for me, and of course that was my misunderstanding or my misuse of FOIA. So I simply asked for animal health records of animals that had been adopted out, and I was immediately had that FOIA request closed because they don't have that information. But an animal's health records are supposed to be kept by statute. Whether an animal is spayed or neutered should be on a health record, and those health records should be in the animal control or at animal control for 2 years after an animal has been adopted out. So I'm asking for help in getting the true and actual data on how many animals have been adopted out. Not just dogs, cats too. And cats can constantly cycle into heat. So actually an unspayed, unneutered, or an unspayed cat can just really, as we know from the problems in our neighborhoods, just grow outrageous populations, proliferate, yes. So, questions. There are questions. There are a lot more questions and a lot more questions that people are asking me right now. So we will bring a presentation, but having a problem getting data that should be readily available. So I'm asking for help with that. Social media did seem to increase, like some months went from maybe 3 a month to 6 a month. So they have been working on social media, which was something that they were, something we had offered to help with. And again, didn't want help, that they do it themselves down at the animal control. So, good on them for that. There are a lot of other things, so we'd like to help our community, but I'm going to save that because we've got a few more meetings to go to manage all the people who I'm hearing from. So, all right. So I don't know how to follow up on this, the information that I'm asking for. I'd also like to know how many runs. I think there are 20 runs down there. If we have 2 dogs there, that's kind of concerning too, because it does seem like an underutilized opportunity there. But again.
Why don't you specifically list the questions?
Questions are, how many animals have been adopted this year?
That's done through a FOIA request.
Put it in writing.
That's done through a FOIA request, just those questions that you're asking for,
I did.
through a FOIA request.
Okay, I'll do it again.
Yep.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Oh.
Sure, the record says there are no reflector comments and no report. Yeah.
Just for the minutes, I just want to reflect that there's been no comments, okay, and these will all be submitted in the minutes. All right, thank you. Moving along, number 5, discuss the current state of traffic enforcement. Police Executive Research Forum report, please see attached document. Is there a presentation or discussion?
Okay, Trustee Irizarry will,
Yeah, just before they begin, Commissioner, I just wanted to highlight, so in your packets, there is a PERF report from the Police Executive Research Forum, which outlines 10 nationally recognized recommendations to strengthen traffic safety efforts by our police department. I'm proud to report that our traffic unit is actively addressing 9 of those 10 recommendations. The only item not yet applicable is preparing for the deployment of autonomous vehicles, which we will evaluate as that technology becomes more relevant to our community. In 2024 alone, Fairfield traffic officers initiated 12,553 traffic stops, ranking 3rd in the state of Connecticut. Only the Connecticut State Police Traffic Unit and New Haven Police Department conducted more enforcement activities by our traffic safety team. By comparison, neighboring communities such as Bridgeport conducted 2,300 traffic stops, Westport 7,000 traffic stops, and a town with similar demographics to Fairfield, being West Hartford, conducted 7,758 traffic stops. Again, we are at over 12,000 traffic stops for the town of Fairfield. These figures represent more than enforcement activity. They reflect a sustained data-driven commitment to reducing crashes, addressing hazardous driving behaviors, advancing Vision Zero initiatives, and maintaining the very important community trust. Our traffic safety efforts continue through 2025 and will remain a top priority for 2026. The Fairfield Traffic Unit remains focused on roadway safety while upholding fairness, transparency, and professionalism in every interaction. I've invited our traffic safety lieutenant and sergeant to speak more on the behalf of the actions by this team. I'm very proud of them. I have said it for years that they are amongst the top in the state of Connecticut, and now we have data to back that statement up. That's all, thunder, we're done.
Congratulations.
all my numbers.
Hello, Commissioners. I'm Sergeant Mike Kahn with the Traffic and Crash Unit, Drew. So we were asked to discuss this report that was put out by the Police Executive Research Forum in November of 2025. I read it all, so you guys don't have to. We'll try to make this quick and just do a quick synopsis. Some of the recommendations that they made as a result of this report and what we've been doing, kind of like to show we've been doing the work that they've put out there. We've already been doing it. So like I said, this report called the Current State of Traffic Enforcement was published in November of 2025. Its purpose was to figure out, basically, we had a huge spike in traffic fatalities nationwide 2021 from 2020. We were at a low point about 2016, and it just spiked. And this was around the pandemic, all right? So they were trying to figure out why is that, especially when they looked at the European Union, and they had the opposite effect. So you would think less cars out on the road, everybody's staying at home, traffic fatalities would go down, kind of makes sense. Well, that's what happened in Europe, but not here. Traffic fatalities went up like 4,000 from 2020 to 2021. So they were just trying to figure out why. So they got together about 100 police professionals and traffic experts together, and they discussed what people were seeing and what they were doing to tackle that. So they wanted to know the traffic enforcement policy change, and if so, what effect did that have on traffic fatalities or were there other factors? With COVID-19, there were public health concerns, so many agencies, including ours, we wanted to limit our interaction with the public so we could stop the spread. Also going around the same time was the George Floyd effect. And again, it was like there was a reimagine the police and whether we should even be involved in traffic stops in the first place. So these two factors have this pullback effect, along with you have the COVID-19, and you had also officers pulling back, doing far less traffic stops, and what were the results? I was promoted in 2020, and I would tell my guys, like, hey, if you ever want to know what would happen if the police stopped enforcing traffic laws, here's a good case study. So, and then they also looked in, there were other factors that were going on around that same time. They found that you had empty roadways, so you basically have racetracks. Impaired driving has really gone up. We've had the legalization of marijuana in many states, including Connecticut, and they found that, I believe it was like 70% of the DUI arrests had other substances in there, whether it was marijuana, opioids, or prescription medications. So that was a big problem that was going on. Distracted driving. I mean, I don't have to tell any of you, you see it all, not just the phone, but all the technology that is now in the cars right now. Like I said, increased number of drivers testing positive for drugs, including marijuana, cocaine, opioids, and prescription medications. So these are all some of the things that they were looking at. And like I said, they gathered 100 police supervisors and executives and traffic safety officials across the U.S. and Canada, and they came up with 10 recommendations, which the lieutenant's going to touch on and kind of flesh out with what we're doing and how we have been practicing those recommendations.
And that distracted driving, that goes as well with distracted pedestrians. So a lot of, I think they say 50% of pedestrian crashes are because pedestrians are looking at their phone, not using crosswalks. So the combination of drivers being distracted and pedestrians being distracted is really causing
and impaired
the rise for pedestrian strikes. So the summary listed 10 topics that they suggest to improve traffic safety. We're ahead of the game. We have the majority of them covered, the ones that we can. The first one is analyzing data to identify hotspots for traffic safety. Currently, we do that by a few ways. We have those traffic speed signs out that are deployed throughout town, which give us data, let us know what the speed rates are, what the 50th percentile, highs and lows, the frequency of vehicle traffic. So we'll use that to try to learn where hotspots are. Our traffic officers, they're our best. They're our eyes and ears out there. They know where the violations are. We can see where they're doing their work every day. So a lot of our data we get from our traffic officers directly. Q alert system. Everybody puts Q alerts in there. Stop sign, red light, speed. So a lot of times we'll focus on the Q alert system as well, just to help identify areas that we're not already familiar with. And then we'll look at some crash data. If we're seeing more accidents at certain locations, then that will help us deploy resources to kind of mitigate any kind of violations that are occurring in those areas. We focus a lot of our work on those main arterial roadways, Fairfield Woods, Mill Plain Road, Bronson Road. That's where the most volume is. That's where the highest speeds are. And by putting our units there, that's where we're most visible. So if we stop a car on Mill Plain Road, we're going to educate, 50, 80 cars going by, hey, they're out here, they're stopping. So next time they may think twice. If we stop a car on, say, Charter Oak, but one person might need to see us out there. So focusing a lot of our traffic efforts on those main roadways just has a much larger impact than slowing people down. And then We don't negate the secondary roadways. You know, we spend time there also, but we also utilize our patrol division for that. We have a hot list down at our booking desk, and we'll list secondary locations there that we ask the patrol officers to spend time at. This way, everybody's kind of getting equitable time. But our traffic unit, we really try to focus where we're going to have the most impact. Second point in the PERF report was educating the community. That's something we do a lot with, working with Sergeant Wellington. She does a lot of social media campaigns with us. There'll be topics regarding traffic safety. A lot of times she supports us when we're doing our grant efforts. She'll post, you know, in relation with our grants, what we're doing, seat belts, distracted driving, speed. So we work in conjunction with her greatly. We do a lot of other campaigns throughout the year. We'll give out traffic safety brochures some months instead of giving out traffic infractions, so we can still educate and let people know, you know, what we're expecting, what the dangers are of their behaviors. We have a couple campaigns coming up. Sergeant Cobb's working on a slow down, move over campaign where we could educate drivers on the dangers of not moving over for public safety and tow truck drivers. That's in the very near future.
The weather hasn't cooperated.
Yeah, a little cold out there,
No,
standing out there.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're also going to do a crosswalk campaign too, where people aren't yielding to pedestrians and crosswalks. So we have those coming in the near future, just as additional education stuff that we'll be able to team up with Sergeant Wellington for. Number 3 on their list is the ATESDs. As you know, those are in play, and hopefully within the next month and a half, we'll get those installed. Once again, weather permitting. But those are going to be a very valuable tool for us, and looking forward to having that in our arsenal for traffic safety. Number 4, they listed with autonomous vehicles. We don't have that yet to worry about in Connecticut. Right now, everybody has to at least be in their car when it's driving. You know, out west, there's cars that don't even have an operator in there. So for now, that's not a problem that we have to deal with at the moment.
It's coming.
It's coming, all right, yeah.
They mentioned Vision Zero partnerships. We have a Vision Zero pledge in town, which really brings all the town agencies together. The focus is a lot on the, you know, enforcement, the education and engineering. Enforcement obviously has the most immediate impact on traffic safety, education, social media, the town, social media, our social media, that helps educate along the traffic stops, and then the engineering part, where these longer traffic calming measures can have a longer term role. But Vision Zero is a part of it, but our town is already well established with the Vision Zero pledge. I mentioned street takeovers. We had a big one in town, as we had our press conference, and many of you were there. It basically tries to come up with a plan for street takeovers. The best one is to try to prevent them entirely. You know, if you could limit them from happening, that's the ideal. But when they do happen, the mayor presence normally will overrun patrol. You're not going to have enough patrol overs to handle 200, 300 cars. So a lot of it's going to be the response and the surveillance of the officers. A lot of it's going to be back in work, looking at video, license plates. But the key is being able to identify who's involved and making those arrests to try to limit in the future. We still have 3 cars in our lot that we see, so that played a significant impact.
Can you use drones to do that?
We will be able to going forward, yeah. When we get calls for street takeovers, by all means, we could put a drone out there, which is going to give us additional surveillance, video. So that's going to be a great tool going forward. I know these street takeovers, they're very fluid, so they'll go to like Shelton, they break them up, then they'll go to Milford. So communication through all the towns is important. I know when I was in patrol, whenever we heard these street takeovers broken up, we'd actually put all our cars on top of the ramps with their cruise lights on. So it's like, don't get off these exits, and it was worked. It was 100% effective when street takeovers were trying to find a new location. It prevented them from getting off in our town. So if you can prevent it, that's the best. But like I said, if they do happen, it's all about surveillance and just having every boots on the ground to see everything happening, and the drone should be a valuable tool for that. Let's see. I mentioned professional staff. We're professional in nature, but the PERF report kind of goes into a little bit of non-sworn people doing some of the work. I know it's big in Florida. Well, they'll have almost like, kind of like the professionals will handle the routine, like parking complaints, minor traffic accidents, stuff that doesn't require a sworn officer. So kind of gears towards that. Right now, our sworn officers are kind of handling all the traffic safety efforts in town. Number 8 is organizational culture, prioritize traffic safety. As Kat mentioned, our traffic unit is a AAA Gold Star traffic unit. They're out there and they're crushing it daily. But our department as a whole really focuses on traffic safety. We have officers that in the patrol division that are doing just as much work as their traffic unit. They're out there, they're trying to make a difference. In 2025, we had over 13,000 traffic stops for our department. And that's a phenomenal number. And we really can't do it without the support of our command staff. They really trust us to go out there and get the job done, and it really allows us to expedite our grants, do what we have to make the road safer, and thank you guys for supporting us. It's important. New Jersey had a recognized study where, as Sergeant Com mentioned, crashes and fatalities had coincided with traffic stops. When New Jersey was going through their issue with profiling, they stopped making traffic stops, and their fatalities and traffic crashes skyrocketed. So there's definitely a correlation between traffic stops and crashes. Just for instance, for Fairfield, just so we have an idea, a couple numbers here. In 2023, we had 615 crashes, and we had 7,500 traffic stops. In 24, we had 580 crashes, so reduced, and we had 12,000 traffic stops. And then in 25, we had even less crashes, 476, with 13,000+ traffic stops. So even here, you can see the more stops, our crashes went down, and there's got to be some kind of direct correlation to being out there and making the road safer. 2 more, and I'll finish up. Impairment technology was number 9 on the PERF report. And right now, we have the Intoxicalizer unit, which we've been using for years. We don't currently do any roadside technology devices, but we have educated and trained and certified Officer Rinaldi, who's now a DRE.
Human technology.
Human robot. He's now a DRE investigator, so he's going to be a new asset for our officers on the road who could do a more advanced impairment evaluation for drugs, more than just the alcohol test. And as far as technology, the state DOT, they did install 2 of the blank wrong-way driver systems in town, one to 23 northbound and one to 21 southbound. And speaking with DOT, they are going to be starting the program on the Mirror Parkway. They just don't have a date yet when that's going to happen. And those things have reduced, I think it's 800% wrong-way drivers. So that is a very valuable intoxicated driver tool. And the last one is balancing traffic safety with community trust. It's just about being equitable. When we're out there doing our stops, we're not focusing on any one person. We're targeting everybody. You know, if you're blowing through a stop sign at, Riverside Beach, whether you live there or you're going to the beach, everybody's being treated the same, and that's important. And then along with that is our weekly stats. We're posting our weekly stats so everything's transparent. People know where we're at, how many stops we have, how many citations. So it's just about being equitable, so then people know we're doing the job fairly out there. So those are the 10 steps that the PERF report mentions, and we're already there. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, and as new technology and stuff comes about, we're going to take it and run with it.
Great presentation. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good job. Great job.
I'd just like to publicly commend the traffic unit. I've been there and worked in that unit and seen how difficult it is and balanced it is, but both of you are doing a great job. You're keeping our traffic unit lively, and you're keeping the town safe by doing so. And I appreciate that. Us as a command staff appreciate you guys very much and all your work. When I received this PERF report, I was proud to go down the list with Captain Irizarry and check off the things that we have already accomplished.
And quite a bit.
So I think the difference between Fairfield and other towns, especially our surrounding towns, is that we have a dedicated traffic unit, and that matters a lot. When you have officers dedicated to certain items in town that are issues, those officers address those issues, and to have a dedicated unit and not have it disbanded like other towns is a very good impact on our community. So I think as long as we continue to have our traffic unit the way it is, hopefully we can expand it even larger. These officers are doing a great job.
We certainly see the results.
They have 12 officers, so.
Yeah.
We have a better ratio.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Chief, I'm glad they stepped it up a bit since you left. I'm totally.
Makes you look good, right? Thank you very, very much.
I had a Ronaldo for a little bit.
Yeah, thank you. Well, you can see the results.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, and moving along, number 6, Commissioner Pine, you want to read the donations?
Sure. Okay, let's see, animal control donations, $100 total donation, check received from John and Alina McCurdy of Salem, Massachusetts, who annually donate in celebration of the dog's adoptiversary. Adoptiversary, okay. Also, we have a donation from, total donation is $100 from, again, John and Alina McCurdy of Salem, Massachusetts. And we have a $40 cash donation received from the Othout family of Milford in celebration of adopting a beautiful husky from the shelter.
Nice.
All right.
And then we received a $2,000 check received from MacMan Insurance Associates of Villa Avenue, Fairfield, in gratitude of the services the shelter provides for the animals throughout the year. Total donations, $2,040 from that, and $100 from McCurdy. So, a motion to accept the donation.
I'll make a motion to accept, and just to also add to that, because we just recently found out
Yeah, thank you.
that the anonymous donations that we've been getting for years and years of gift cards and that were delivered down there are all coming from one
Lady?
female resident of Fairfield who consistently is walking in just giving them gift cards. That's how it works, right?
Great.
And over the almost 10 years I've been on this, it's like gift cards. I'm like, who's giving gift cards? And now we found it. It's all one person. So I just thought, share that. And she's apparently still going in. Someday we'll solve the mystery of who she is. What? They know who she is, but she doesn't want anybody to know who she is, so we'll stake it out and see what we can do. But I'll make the motion to accept those donations.
Second?
Thank you. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anonymous. Okay, on to our monthly report for January. Do we have any questions? Chief, do you have any?
Only thing to add is that, again, our officers are continually faced with challenges with increased statistics, whether it be domestic violence or burglary, et cetera, and they're continuing to rise to that challenge of addressing issues, which is really good. We're a young department, and we have a lot of eager officers who are out there making a difference in our town by just little things, such as what Commissioner Blanco discussed is just as simple as responding to an alarm. Things like that make people in this town comfortable. So I'm proud of the officers that all the work they're doing and continue to keep up with the challenges of police work in 2026.
Yes, we're very fortunate and fearful to have this department, and it's great having the great leadership under you and the command staff and everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yep, Commissioner Brown?
Okay, so looking over the, first of all, Lieutenant Zerjou mentioned the importance of patrol complementing the traffic safety unit. And I was looking at the K-9 unit, and I know this is something but it's got Officer Artizone had 57 traffic stops in January. And then we had Officer Rinaldi had 266 traffic stops in January. Then we have Officer Bakula has 0 stops. So I was just wondering, is that a typo or something?
It's not a typo, Commissioner. It's something that we are working on. Let Captain Riendo speak to it. He falls under his purview. But it's something that we are repeatedly working on. Sometimes officers get comfortable. And once you receive something that's a reward that you're going toward, they get comfortable. And it's difficult sometimes to motivate officers, but we expect certainly our, especially K-9 officers, to progressively increase their workload. So I think it's a work in progress.
So, just to reiterate, so you're saying that Officer Bakula had 0 traffic stops?
0 traffic stops, yeah. And that's Captain Randall, do you want to speak to it?
Just real quick.
Yeah.
Commissioner,
Yes,
Artizone was with the traffic unit for half a month.
okay,
That might explain those stops.
Mhm.
And Rinaldi is permanently assigned to the traffic unit. I
okay,
cannot explain the 0 on Officer Bakula. I'll let the captain speak on that
Okay.
part. Yeah,
I'm
could
just
speak on another.
piggybacking on what Lieutenant Drew said about how he relies on patrol to complement the traffic.
We certainly do.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it's something that I will definitely address and, try to, ensure that our guys are out there. We obviously need to spread the workload, and if somebody isn't, then we'll have conversations, so.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Yep.
This commission, does anybody else on this commission have any, thoughts or comments on the monthly report? Anybody from the public? Or
There
select
is no
person?
public. No.
Right there. All righty, then,
I'll make a motion to go in executive
is
session.
there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're back in public session right now. There is no, motions made or votes taken.
The time is,
Oh, time is 5:57. Thank you, Commissioner. All right, is there any other discussion at all?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's it, we're done.
All right.